Hello, I am Laurie of Your Life Core, and you are listening to Messages from the Universe. Here I deliver information from the mastery realms related to astrology, planetary influences, energy surges, and generally how we are evolving. I connect with angels, guides, ascended masters, astral beings, and those that come forward with messages to help us on our journey. Welcome, everyone. Hello, I am Laurie and thank you for listening. We talk a lot about the planets and energy and the influences that are pushing us for change. And most recently, we've talked about eclipse season. And as I was asking the universe what messages that need to be delivered, I'm reminded that we go through soul eclipses also. And the universe is just helping us during those processes. So there's the external eclipses, and then there's the internal eclipses, which are releasing of the old and welcoming the new. November is such a month of transformation. In numerology, it's the number 8, even though it's the 11th month of the year. The energy of November holds energy about self-confidence, balance and inner stability, physical manifestation and willpower, abundance, wealth, and achievement. And it also hosts a number of pleasant surprises from the divine realm. It's this realization of the humanness that we have here on earth, but the soul journey that we're on in this human form. We've been pushed by the universe to shift our thoughts and actions, to upgrading ourselves, and to focus towards the health of our inner self world. I know there's a lot of chaos and stuff going on around us, but it is the magical time with that theme or focus on abundance of opportunities to refresh our intentions, to ensure that our energy aligns with our soul path while navigating the daily concerns of the world that's happening around us, and while connecting to universal energies and trying to filter through and change those filters as what's for me and what's not for me. And I know as November is known as the 11th month, it is a great portal. The collective numerology of November carries that number 8 and the vibration of infinite magic, wisdom, and balance, and of course, harmony of cosmic order. So why wouldn't the universe be pushing us for huge transformations at this time of year? So I'm curious, how might you be using this energy this month to propel you forward? Is it so intense for you that maybe you've shut off from it? Because I want to awaken you to the magic of this doorway that we're in right now, looking for ways to connect more with your spiritual self and explore the unknown. From dropping all that old baggage that you've been carrying around for years, healing trauma in the body and in your emotional field, and stepping out of confusion and rising from the old into the new. The universe provides us those magical electrical storms that shake and awaken and move us forward in our quest for personal and self-development. And navigating through this energy, that can present a lot of emotional unraveling as the collective learns new ways to cope with anger, stress, and frustration. You too may find yourself learning new ways to cope with those things. You also may be feeling or finding that relationships and the revelation and what those relationships are revealing to you have been highlighted. But although these things may have seemed foggy, there's magic in this process, especially in the power of the breath and stillness of the mind, because it's in those spaces that you truly can assess and find and discover your strength within and ponder those questions. What's the purpose of all of this? Now, planetary-wise, we know Mars is still retrograding, and it's in Gemini, the twin, and that's going to be there until January of 2023. And that's going to continue to present many themes concerning the relationships between power and authority, communication, and self-expression. You may think about career or work environment as we talk about this energy, but we are also in the area of the holiday season. And the holiday season, the truth is there are at least 29 religious holidays that are celebrated across the world between November 1st and 15th, and holidays where people gather and where there's opinions and feelings and beliefs. Those are all fertile grounds for clashes between views. It's that time of family gatherings and tradition, and that adds another layer of complexity for some of those relationships that may already be stressed. This is a time of power, control, awakening, alertness, and the decision. It's a time where most of us are wanting inner calm and peace, and the energy is still pushing all these buttons. If we think about it, November, in the latter part of the year, it starts to get cold out, at least in the northern hemisphere. We want to go inside and be warm, settle in, be comfortable, but the universe is pushing buttons. And Scorpio season always presents potent spiritual alignment to work with, allowing us to tap into every single layer of ourselves. So the question is, are you ready to look at or be present with those deep inner layers that are showing up, that the universe is bringing forward for you? That's the eclipse in you, within you, letting go and releasing of the old and being open to seeing the illumination of the new. Now, mid-November here, we also have to remember that we have a lot of Sagittarius influence, and Sagittarius is about aiming. We have that new moon, and Jupiter goes direct all towards the end of November, and this is all refreshing our intentions and ensuring that our energy does in fact align with our soul. Now we can continue to fight that. We can say, my humanness wants this, but your soul agreement, the soul contract, your soul purpose, the thing that you're here for, is always going to win out. If you feel your world is unraveling, it may be that the universe is really aligning you to your soul path, and what was in the past needs to be unraveled. It needs to be released. It needs to be illuminated so that you can see something different. And, not everybody is off track. Maybe you already are on track and you just get more clarity in that purpose and you feel that influx of energy that you are on path. But what if you're feeling a little less grounded this month? This would be the time for you to take some time out to slow down, to pause, reflect, establish boundaries in your life. I always say during eclipse season, all boundaries are like gone. It's like the universe is saying, are you sure you want these boundaries? Or maybe you didn't have the right ones. But this would be a time to reestablish those boundaries. It's time to bring wisdom from the past forward and explore new understanding to help create that movement, that free flow from your inner to your outer world. And anytime we go through a transformational shift like this in the inner world, it does create boundaries. People might think it's the old you and you're emerging as a new you or a new version of you. And all this energy starts with the heart. Even in the most tumultuous moments, you can start from a place of the heart. I'm wondering if you have practices and processes that allow an interruption in any emotions to reset back to love and reset back to the energy of the heart. The best place to do that is to take a few deep breaths and actually to put your hand on your heart to remind you that your core function, your core energy, your core emotion to your compass is love. If you can master this practice of interruption, you'll be able to sail through the most tumultuous moments in your life. This can be the best way to allow for an upgrade of the heart, as Venus always wants to influence any inner work to show us that we truly are anchored in love. If you can approach this energy from a new place of love, you will experience a significant growth in your relationships, your values, your finances, and self-worth. Energies call you to become more aligned with your purpose and your spiritual growth. And when we are aligned, we allow our natural state of love to flow to anything in our life. That abundance of love flow into all areas of your life. And if you've noticed that you have chaos in one area of your life, but the rest of your life seems balanced and calm, if that chaos is not calmed in that one area, eventually it will seep into other areas of your life. Energy is energy, and the law of more equal more applies. So when you have chaos, and if there's no action to calm that chaos, it will continue to attract and distribute more chaos into other areas of your life. Love, happiness in one area of your life, and a focus on that energy of love and happiness will draw more of that energy into your life. I know it can be really hard to think about happiness and joy when you are in the middle of chaos, but that is the key to moving into that energy. So when I mention that we're in this place of significant growth in your relationships, in values, and finances, and self-worth, everything is connected. And chaos in one area creates chaos in all those areas. And love and abundance and the feeling of hope and calm in one of those areas over time can influence all those areas. That lunar eclipse that we had on November 8th created this huge gateway for creating a new path for our goals and our dreams and even our beliefs. That reignition of hope and change, something for the future. It's at this time the universe is wanting us to see actually both the light and the dark. We can't live in one or the other. We have to have both, and we have to learn to use both from a healthy standpoint. So that light and shadow then becomes a conscious choice when we emerge. Which one will we follow? Will we follow those moments where we feel disheartened and alone and sad and angry? Or will we choose to be in that place of love and joy and happiness? It's a choice. We understand we live in a world of duality, but at this time, we do feel hopeful that we have choices, and the universe is showing us we have choices. The universe assures us that we really do have choices. So even in those moments where we're in the midst of chaos, it's really important to understand you have a choice to how you view that chaos. And when we understand that duality of light and dark and the fact that we have choices, we can see significant changes in our partnerships, in our relationships. We can embrace those things that bring us pleasure and comfort. We can see we have a choice of endings, revelations, breakthroughs, and of course, new beginnings. We can move away from manipulative tactics, purge the heart and mind by letting go of the past and allowing that attraction of abundance with a fresh new attitude. And of course, that brings a fresh outlook on life. This is really a time and the energy about stepping into your power and owning energy at its purest manifestation, because you own your energy. You have a choice of where you want to direct that. And it's so powerful now. You can choose to manifest it in a light way. That's your choice. The November gateway of 1111 also provided this gateway of profound heart integration. Venus has been traveling alongside the sun since October, and that's been initiating a new pact of the heart. The Venus trip through Scorpio prompted a massive shedding of old values, revealing issues with self-esteem, self-worth, anything that we may have had tied or wrapped up in our personal self, our possessions, and it activated this newfound way of giving and receiving, maybe coming into more balance of that. And now as Venus moves into Sagittarius, it inspires more lightheartedness, optimism, expansiveness, understanding, and evolving consciousness through our spiritual path. Expect to find yourself drawn to more exotic people or places or experiences that awaken a new love for life. Be curious. You might find yourself being drawn into a conversation that you had no intent of being drawn into, something that might be related to spirituality, astral travel, astrology, something of the mysticism world, and allow yourself to be curious in that space. Our passion for life can also awaken more of your intuitive side, and through your intuitive side, you'll find that maybe writing, learning, communicating with those from other cultures help open and drive that. There's no time for small talk as the mind shifts towards more awareness. You're wanting to go deep. For me, personally, this is an exciting time of year. The internal parts that we've been investigating and exploring now come out into the world, and we want to share that with others. But we also want to share that with the expectation others have also gone into those deep parts of their being. Towards the end of the month, on November 22nd, we officially move into Sagittarius season, and that archetype is I aim. The sun dips out of Scorpio, yay, and it moves into Sagittarius on November 22nd, and that closes out a monumental season of revelations and spiritual upgrades. Sagittarius is the light of expansion and soul-centered thought. It's also known as the archer, devoting to aiming their arrow towards realization of inner truth. Sagittarius is the last fire sign of the zodiac, representing victory, where the higher self rises over the lower self. It's time, we're moving forward. This is self, ultimately facing the ego's shadow and moving beyond shooting in the dark to knowing precisely what the target is and aiming and hitting that target. This is where clarity of the soul is felt. And overall, Sagittarius season burns down the old and inspires us to find acceptance, truth, and wisdom in the journey rather than focusing on the result. We're prepared to look back and see what we learned along the path. It then becomes clearer as to what you've just traveled through. You have more sureness in your aim for the future. You believe your arrow will eventually land where it's supposed to be. And if you have faith and trust in the power within, you know you will hit your target. The new moon arrives on November 23rd. That generates a grand expansion and more enlightenment of the soul. And this is the second to the last new moon of the year. A new moon is really a magical phase where the sun is conjunct with the moon, and it represents a brand new 28-day lunar cycle. And during this phase, darkness takes over and magic intensifies, symbolizing a prime time to plant some new seed, water current ones. And all that work you did in the past to clear from your past now has illuminated what you want to plant. So plant those seeds for your future. Nurture those things that have shown up. And Sagittarius, that skillful archer and truth seeker, inspires a sense of joy, faith, and optimism that we can carry into the coming year, enhancing our well-being and alignment with the natural order. The new moon and 3 other planets in Sagittarius emphasizes the importance of work, health, and habitual patterns. It also highlights creativity, joy, inspiration, and faith. This is entering the season and the energy where we'll feel quick-witted, confident, we're seeking truth, and of course, we're looking for fun. Then, after 4 months of dancing backwards, Jupiter finally goes direct in Pisces during the November new moon. And Jupiter in Pisces stimulates an intense period of psychic receptivity, mainly focusing on our dreams, inner worlds, and inspirations. And if you haven't sensed it in my voice, this is an exciting time. As finally, at the end of the month, the end of November here, this is where the alchemy comes in to shift our mind, body, and the metamorphosis of the soul. It's quite a busy time as we close out that eclipse season, open the gateway of the 11:11, welcome the energy of Sagittarius, and of course, make space for more spiritual awakenings and consciously dissolving any ego attachments. One thing I might add is there are those around you that might still be holding on to those ego attachments, and this is where you get to practice that centering of love and hopefulness and joy. Let go of the past, be brave, be bold, and allow the magic of the stars to inspire you to return to your optimum power. If you felt shielded or delayed or disempowered, this is the time for you to move into and ramp up your own personal power. Just because something has fallen away does not mean it does not have value in the present moment, or it did not have value in getting you to where you are today. Expect triumphs and unexpected twists. Those can all work in your favor. November is a positive time. It's transformational, and through the stars that indicate promising time of abundance and silver linings, even if the month has presented challenges. We know a rainbow reveals itself after every storm. We also understand we really have to go through storms or rain to see the rainbow. And that storm probably provided many, many, many opportunities to connect with your higher self, your inner self, and bring clarity and envision new or clearer goals. So my words to you, focus on compassion, forgiveness, hope, trust, and of course, love. Understand you have choice in the world. Become inspired and transport yourself into higher consciousness. Choose love. Choose to shift and tune into your spiritual light as you enter the passage through challenges and fulfillment. You truly are a shining soul, and your purpose and soul purpose for being here on this earth at this time is needed. I'm Laurie Wondra of Your Life Core, and thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to Messages from the Universe. I'm Laurie Wondra. For current events or to schedule a private session, please visit www.yourlifecore.com.